the most haunted town in all of America.
Alton, known as the most haunted small town in all of America.
The McPike Mansion, a place reportedly filled with spirits of the people who used to call that place home.
One of the most haunted places in America.
Whoa, lately alone.
The McPike Mansion.
The most haunted spot, and the most haunted mansion, and the most haunted city in America.
People come from all over the world to see this. The tours, though, not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Tonight, I have a very special investigation for you guys. I am at one of the most haunted houses in America, the most haunted house in Illinois, and inside one of the most haunted towns in America, Alton, Illinois. McPike Mansion. I've been here once before, way back in the day. It's one of my first investigations. It was pretty bad. It was pretty terrible. But I came back, and this time I am completely alone. Just me, my cameras, my devices. I am super excited for tonight. I think it's gonna be a really good night. You can't go wrong with a massive, essentially abandoned mansion like this. And Sharon gave me special permission to be able to come investigate. So right now the house is kind of crowded with like chairs and all sorts of stuff because it's after Halloween and there was a ton of events. So forgive the mess. It's, you know, there's chairs everywhere and I wasn't even supposed to investigate tonight. She gave me special permission to be able to come and investigate. I'm essentially the last person that's gonna be here for the year because if you can't tell, it's cold. With that being said, we're at the McPike Mansion. Let's learn about some history and then let's get into the investigation of McPike Mansion.
The most haunted town in all of America.
Alton, known as the most haunted small town in all of America.
The McPike Mansion, a place reportedly filled with spirits of the people who used to call that place home.
One of the most haunted places in America. The McPike Mansion.
People come from all over the world to see this. The tours, though, not for the faint of heart.
Right now, we are doing an abandonment inside the McPike Mansion, the most haunted house in Illinois, some even say in America. So right now, we have a camera up on the second floor. We just got access specifically. Sharon allowed us to do this. We have it up there with a yes/no box. We have a camera. Communicate. That is pretty crazy, actually. We have the ghost chatter running. That's what you're seeing right now. We have a camera in the little back area where there's a bathroom, and we have a camera pointed towards the stairs that lead upstairs and into the basement. We have devices spread all around. So I'm going to be leaving this house all by itself, and we'll see what happens. The obelisk is going crazy right now behind me. I haven't had really anything said on that in a while, so this is awesome. So without further ado, let's get into the lone camera theory. And if there's any spirits in this house and you would like to communicate, please feel free to do that. With any of the devices, use your voice, walk around. The house will be completely empty.
Sight. Appetite. Industry. Law.
Can you open a door?
19 seconds after this question from Ghost Chatter, one of the weirdest obelisk encounters I've ever encountered started.
Huge. House.
Over the course of 2 minutes and 4 seconds, the Ovilus appears to be describing the house and the situation.
Altar. Quiet. Dirty. Modern. Waters. Train. Place. Class. Clear.
It's almost as if the spirit is unfamiliar with the location, as if I brought it with me.
Earth.
It is also important to mention that this could be pure coincidence, as the Ovilus said a variety of random words over the course of the next 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
King. Calcium. Give. Cost. Love.
Was a spirit using the Ovilus to communicate in an intelligent way, or was this all pure coincidence? Let me know your opinion in the comments below.
It's never went off. Can you be the first? Can you make the REM pod light up to show us you're here?
Course. Afraid. Underline. Cut. Metaphysics.
It is important to mention that these are the first words spoken by the Ovilus in over 10 minutes after the spurt of words I had just showcased.
Can you repeat after me? I am not alone.
If there's anybody in here with me right now, and you set off any of the devices or moved around the house or anything like that, I really do appreciate it. I'm going to be gathering everything up. I'm going to be starting my investigation here very soon. So thank you if you did communicate. And I'd love to talk to you more for the rest of the night if that's okay with you. Okay, guys.
God. Nighttime.
God, nighttime. I'm curious if that thing went off like a bunch. I actually have no clue. Right before I was leaving, it was going off like a ton, which doesn't really happen that often. So, all right, let's end this. While packing up for the lone camera theory, something interesting had happened. Whoa.
Simple.
Was that simple to do? Guys, I apologize for the really probably terrible footage. I'm packing everything up to end abandonment. But right now I'm going to try to recreate that.
Sign.
Was that a sign? And it didn't happen. Oh, I have full goosebumps, guys. Hold on, let me reorganize my hands and everything. My hands are full. That was awesome. Thank you so much, by the way. I really do appreciate it. I never have that thing go off, so to me, that was very impressive of you. The last time I was here, you made that go off a ton as well. So if you want to keep doing that, if you like that device, Alright, now that we got the body cam going, guys, look how close I'm getting right now, and it's still not going off. I'm walking. I literally had to essentially touch it. Well, because that's literally how the device works. And this yes/no device is not lit up. And if you don't know about this device, if you put something in front of it and it goes off and the light triggers, it doesn't just shut off over time. It actually, you have to put something in front of it. So if it's not on, that kind of usually shows it either it went off multiple times or not at all. That was awesome. I truly can't believe that the REM pod just went off as I was walking by, and then it said, what did it say? Simple and sign. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Alright guys, everything is gathered up. So, gonna go ahead and end the abandonment, and I will see you guys in a minute for the first investigation. We might have got some activity. That's sort of a sign that we might have got some activity if that goes off while I'm in here. So, let's do this. It is time to start the first investigation inside the house. During abandonment, I don't know obviously what happened during the lone camera theory, but what I do know is whenever I was packing everything up, the REM pod went off on the stairs and I wasn't able to recreate it, which I found to be really interesting because if I'm not mistaken, the very first paranormal encounter that the owner, Sharon, had after she bought this house was she came in and right at the stairs was Paul Loschinger, I believe is how you pronounce it. But that is like the first paranormal like documented, because there were stories back when Paul bought the place to make it like a boarding house that there was paranormal stuff happening, like kids running in the hallway and there's no kids and all this and that. But that was like the first thing that Sharon experienced. So those stairs have a history and the REM pod went off. And that's very interesting to me. So I put a static box up there because if that goes off, then we know that potentially something really cool is happening, because if two separate devices in the same area go off, that's incredible. We also have right here at the entrance, at the door, the music box. The music box is set up, pointed at the door. We have the REM pod in here where all the chairs and everything are for the movie room right now. So it's a little crowded, but the REM pod's right there. I just told you about the static box on the stairs. And right down here, right down the hallway, we have this yes/no box. Now, I've never had this device go off a single time. So if it goes off tonight, that would be like the first time. And I actually rigged this up a little bit so that, I don't know, I just thought that'd be cool. It's rigged up so it's not just sitting on the floor. So if there's anybody inside this home, that being Henry, Sarah, Henry's mother, Lydia, Mary, I can't remember everybody I said, Eleanor, Henry the child, Paul. If any of you are here, I would genuinely appreciate if you could come down to this little foyer area and have a conversation with me. I just want to get to know you. I just want you to tell me your story and I'll share mine. That's all I ask. My name is Dawson. I'm from Illinois, but I moved to Tennessee and I came back up here to meet you again. So I don't know if you recognize me, but I've been here once before. Who set off the REM pod on the stairs? Did you make anything go off while I was outside and left the home alone to just my cameras and my devices? Not really getting anything right now. Which, that's pretty typical. We just started. We can actually explore this area a little bit more than we would have been able to the last time. Also, guys, just an FYI, see how close I can get to this? It's got to be about 3-4 inches away for it to trigger. Hello? I'm inside your house. I don't mean you any disrespect. I just want to talk to you, and hopefully you'll welcome me with open arms. Guys, it was that corner right there where I saw my first, what I would say is like my first confirmed shadow figure. It was just standing in the corner. It reminded me of like those small little country, like at the gas stations, they'll have like these cutout silhouettes of like a cowboy leaning against like a gas pump or something at like an abandoned gas station. It was almost just like that, but it wasn't really a cowboy. It was more of a guy, and he was wearing like a hat, it was kind of like a cowboy hat, but it was more like a top hat, and he was just standing in that corner, and I was like, what? And it wasn't there anymore, and then so we're like moving the cameras around and everything, trying to figure out like what it was, and I couldn't. Anything that like cast a shadow was much larger. And I truly believe that I saw a shadow figure in that corner. Who was that I saw? Was that Henry? This was a long time ago, a few years ago. Maybe you don't remember. Maybe that's not how it works. Maybe after a certain amount of time, everything kind of like restarts. Can you copy me? That was just some sort of debris. Wasn't knocks or anything, but... And guys, if you can't tell, there is no like heat or anything like that in this house. And there's only like very select electricity, so we don't really have to worry about the contamination from that either. Let's go ahead and head back over to the stair area. Can I come upstairs? All of the ghosts here are said to be extremely friendly. Now the cellar is a little bit of a different story. There's a little bit of a different vibe, but in the actual house itself, it's kind of just like friendly, just people. I think I'm going to move to the back room. We had a little bit of luck the last time I was here back there. Now, I'm not trying to just make this a repeat, but we did have some luck back there. So I think I'm going to grab everything up and just isolate. Instead of spreading everything out everywhere, just going to isolate it, put it in this back room, set some stuff up, try to have a conversation. So I'll see you guys in a second. I don't really know what this room would be called. Sort of like a middle room, because that would have been a living room area. That's the hallway, and then the stairs, and then back there is sort of like an open area, and there's stairs. There's like servant stairs that go upstairs, and then there's the stairs that lead down to the basement. And then there's that little bathroom, but Sharon believes that that was actually like a butler's closet initially before Paul tried to turn it into like a boarding house type of thing, because then his family stayed over here and the rest of the people live like on the second and third floor. I don't really know what this area would be, but I would assume Paul and his family would stay over here quite a bit. Whoa. Okay. It's probably calibration, but I actually just read the instructions for that yesterday because I just found the instructions laying around. I just read it again just to so it picks up static and triboelectric fields, but it calibrates within 5 to 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but the longest is supposed to be 30 seconds. And it's been well over 2 minutes. If you set that off, Paul, I think I was talking about you at that moment. You think you could do it again? That was me bumping the wall. Just walk around that little purple light. Or rub your hands together, or rub your clothes together. On the chair over there, there's something that I call the ovilus. Well, they call the ovilus. Basically what it does, it takes readings of the environment, that being electromagnetic fields, that being vibrations. So like I think if you tap on the chair, it'll vibrate, and what it's supposed to do is convert things into words. Sounds kind of crazy. I agree with you. But, there's been a few times where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And maybe tonight you could show me that device right there isn't just nonsense. And if you're wondering how triggering a device will make us have a conversation, let's say you trigger that REM pod over there. What we can do is have a back and forth using that as yes, no, or just acknowledging my question or, an answer. That's what we can do. So if you want to touch any of these, please.
80.
That's the first time this went off. Right after I said that, it said 80. Not sure if the audio will be picked up. So it said 80. What is 80? Were you 80 years old maybe? Is there 80 spirits here? I said there was 12. Is that what you mean? And this is the part where you would answer. So I ask a question. This is the part where you would try to answer. You can set off one of these devices. And so let's go music box, green light directly in front of me. That will be no, that's not what you mean. The REM pod over there will mean yes. The purple light on the table here, that'll mean next question. Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. How about this? I'm going to walk out of the room, but I'm going to leave all the devices. but I'm gonna walk out. Okay. Let me explain. Goosebumps. Very faintly. Like, it didn't even sound like the wood. Almost sounded like footsteps. I would like to say now, this microphone kind of stinks. It doesn't pick up noises the best, and when it does, it almost kind of changes the sound of them to be like more like metallic and stuff like that. I need to get a... Whoa. That's only went off 2 times. Both times was after like something, like I said, like, oh, there's 12 spirits. I said 80. And then I thought I heard what sounded like faint footsteps. And then it said threshold. Is this a threshold? What's a threshold? It's like an amount, right? It's like the amount. All right. So let me finish saying what I was saying before I heard that. If maybe you're a little camera shy, you kind of don't want me in your face when you're trying to make this stuff go off, I was thinking about walking out of this room and leaving all this stuff here. So I'm going to do that because that went off and then I heard those, whatever that was, whether that was you or not. So I'm going to walk out of the room. And I would love it if you could trigger one of the devices or something. Okay? Okay. Right now, we're in like part of the living room. There was 11 fireplaces, by the way, inside this house. Back in the day. We're in what is now sort of the movie room, as you can see the movie screen. But this would kind of be like a, you know, living room area, I guess. And those are like big old sliding doors that go inside the walls. All right, I'm no longer in that room. Could you trigger one of the devices, please? I'm going to count to 10. And then I'm going to re-enter that room. Unless you trigger one of the devices. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last chance before I walk back in. 1. So far on the first floor, it hasn't quite been as active as it was the last time I was here, but that's how it goes with the paranormal. If it was just as active, honestly, I would probably think that there was a more natural explanation, because if the same thing happens at all these locations all the time, there's usually something sketchy about it, you know what I mean? So this is actually a good sign, although for you guys, you know, you're kind of hoping to see like some really cool paranormal stuff, as am I, but that's just how it goes sometimes. So right now, what I want to do is pack everything up. And before it gets too cold, because at night, you know, temperature just keeps on dropping, I want to go out to the graves of the children that people say back in the day when this was a little boarding house that Paul Loschinger like ran, they could hear the children, because 2 children did die. They could hear the children like playing in the hallways, running back and forth, and they would look and there'd be no children, or they would go talk to Paul and be like, hey, you know, can you tell those kids to like knock it off or whatever? And he's like, there's no kids staying here. Anyways, the children are buried out back, and we should pack everything up and head out there. So I'll see you guys in a second, in a minute, couple minutes, maybe For you guys, it's instant, just like. Now, the graves, there's not really anything left. They've been vandalized, chunks have been taken, people have stolen it, but there's a little path down there, but I don't think that's it. And essentially, there's just like one little piece, but there's a clearing where it was. So we're gonna head out there, very bare bones, and see if the children might be hanging out. Here it is. That was actually a little closer than I thought it was. And I just walked into a spider web. Here, let me set this stuff up. There's the house. I don't know how well this IR is gonna let you see the house, but we're back here in the backyard.
Cellar.
What? We're pointed right at the cellar. Do you want me to go into the cellar? That was pretty crazy. Now, this thing was moving around because I was trying to readjust the camera, so that clip was probably pretty bad, but what are the odds, right? Out of the thousands of words, I show the house, show where the cellar is. Are you trying to talk to me? Are you trying to tell me something?
Fit.
Fit. Do you see those little lights? They're very faint, but they're blue. And that's a little box. It means yes and no, but we don't have to use it that way if you don't want. If you walk up to it and you just get real close to one of the answers, yes or no, it'll light up bright blue like that. Do you think you could do that for me? If you want me to go into it, say yes, say cellar again, say basement, say go, hurry, something like that. And I will. I'll pack it up here and go in there. If there's any adults over here, I would just like to be incredibly clear that I'm not here to disrespect your children. I'm here to talk. So now that that's clear, if the children are here, please talk to me. My name's Dawson. I don't mean you any disrespect or any harm. Sure, you were good kids. You like to play around in this big old house. I don't blame you. I would. Can you speak to me? The last time we were here, we did a thing called the Estes method. Now, I can't really do that tonight. I could, but I won't be doing that tonight. But when we did, we felt like we were supposed to come out here, so we did. And I remember I was told something about a red cup. And when we got out here, there was a red cup up there. I don't see it anymore. I don't think the red cup is up there any longer. But Jerome hung those up. I think they're for mosquitoes or bugs or something. And we had no idea. So it was really cool for us. So Jerome, maybe if you're still hanging out, walking around the grounds, I'm not getting any luck out here. To be fair, I didn't really try that hard. I didn't try that long. I think it was pretty clear and obvious when I turned around and I was switching the camera to my other hand and the obelisk goes cellar. I think it was pretty obvious that I was supposed to go to the cellar. So I'm gonna head inside, take this little trail back into the house, and grab the stuff, and me and you guys are gonna head into the cellar and we're gonna investigate it. And this is probably gonna be the spookiest part. Just me in that dark cellar by myself. Here we go. Heading down right now to the cellar for the first time tonight. I have not been down there whatsoever tonight. The only thing I did, this is about as far as I got, was plugging in the lights. So this will be the first time I see this cellar in years. Oh man. Okay, guys. Look at these little archways. It's like being in a catacombs or something. It's just like a maze down here. Back here. This is where they're stacking up all the wood for the renovations. And those are the stairs. The music box was pointed in that direction whenever the abandonment was going on, the lone camera theory. And these big steel doors, iron doors, that lead down even further into the cellar. Oh man. This is one of the hot spots of the place. There's not a lot of room, like I mentioned before to you guys, is the spooky season is officially over, and there wasn't supposed to be any more investigations, but she let me in, so there's not a lot of room back here. I'm gonna clear up some of these chairs before we start the investigation because I want a little bit of room. We are down in the cellar. Completely alone. It's locked upstairs. The only person in this entire place is me. And I'm in arguably the most haunted spot in the most haunted mansion in the most haunted city in America. Is there anybody within...
Square.
You calling me a square?
Task.
Huh. It's actually going off quite a bit. Almost kind of like it was right before I left the lone camera theory. It's kind of going off like that, but...
Hour. Class.
Our class?
Cut.
So when we were out at the cemetery, or not cemetery, where the kids are buried, it's two things. One of them was Cellar, the other one was, I forget. And then when we were upstairs outside of the lone camera theory, we got like a couple words. Now it just said like 6 things. And guys, forgive me for the echo.
Wife. Beware.
Beware of the wife. You know, what's really interesting about that, the wife never lived here. She died in, I believe, 67, and the home was finished in 69. So I believe it still would have been like in process of being built. So she would have been around, she would have been a big part of it, but she never lived here. But it is believed that she kind of like followed her husband and haunts this place. Anyways, what's interesting is it said like, wife beware. She is the one that is known to like pull hair and like tug on your shirt and stuff. So like, and it's not meant to be like malicious. I'm pretty sure it's just more of like a haha, got ya. To me, that's a little interesting. What else do you have to say? You said a lot. There was a pretty loud like, gump. It was out there. Microphone's pointed this way, who knows if it's captured, but... Are you trying to lead me out there? And guys, Whenever
entered,
did you enter the cellar? Whenever I respond to this, do not assume that I'm just, this is paranormal. I'm more or less just like playing along with it, trying to find out. So don't think, oh, he believes everything that, no, but I am going to entertain the idea because, like, it's fun, you know? I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm trying it a lot, if you haven't noticed lately, because I want to figure it out. I want to use it. I want to, you know. Funeral. Are you down here with me? Why don't you set off one of my devices? I'd really appreciate that.
disregard, clock,
Don't worry about the time, because you know I got to get out of here soon. Is that it? Do you want me to stay longer? Go ahead, you can tell me. I don't know. Upstairs, like it does. It feels friendly. It feels like home. And you come down here, and it's almost like there's like a feeling of like, get out of here. Like you don't like, and not in like a evil way or anything like that, but more or less like this is my area type of feeling. I don't know if that makes sense or if you guys ever feel stuff like that, but like, you know, if you're like walking around a store and you get to like a certain area, there's a bunch of boxes and stuff, and you're in your head, you're kind of just like, oh, I shouldn't really be over here. Like they're working over here or something. That's almost kind of what it feels like. This screen is also very dim. This thing's like fully charged. I don't know if you guys can even tell. This thing's usually pretty bright. Log file not assigned. Let's restart it. Now it's not working. What the This thing is like not working whatsoever. The touchscreen is not working on this whatsoever. This thing is fully charged. I can't see anything. Here we go. It's not even doing the calibration words. Did you break this? I wonder if it heard me say that I was just playing around with it, and then it was like, fine, you don't need it then. And then basically just broke it. I'll try it again later. Did you not want me to use that? If you were the one that broke that, please make one of the other devices go off. I'd really appreciate it since I can't use that anymore. That obelisk went outside with me when I went to the cemetery. Now it's not freezing temperatures, but it's cold, you know, pretty cold, I would say. I live in Tennessee and I drove up here and it's a little colder up here than it is down there. And there's a potential for the cold drain the battery, right? And that's why the screen went dim, and then that's why it said like log whatever, and then why it just didn't work anymore. I hope so, at least. I paid a lot of money to mess around with that thing, and it's just like, screw you. You don't get to mess with it anymore. So I hope that isn't the case. I will insert a clip right here. Let's go ahead and step right over this. McPike's. Dawson's here. Your old pal Dawson. One of the haunting stories is also that these metal doors, they'll hear them like close. And they wouldn't have closed. But like you hear the noise of it. I don't mean to sound like a broken record and, you know, sound like a weirdo or annoying, but I truly would love it if you would communicate with me. I don't want to beg, but please, just give me one thing that I can go home and say, they're here. Make that metal door noise that you do. Shut that metal cellar door. Walk past this little archway, or, you know, jump on the floor up there or something. Make a really loud bang. Give me something that, just one thing. I'm not asking for a lot. I just want one thing. Usually I can walk away from a place with one thing. Just help me out. Give me that one thing. You guys are friendly. You guys are, you like to talk. You like to communicate. Just give me one thing and I'll leave you alone. I do enjoy the solos. I really do. They're very scary. Even if nothing's happening, it's just like, you know, dangerous and spooky, and I get pretty freaked out because I'm a pussy. But if you guys enjoy it, please let me know. Michael did have his baby, and he will be back soon. But of course, he's got better stuff to deal with right now. Who knows? Maybe when the season was over for Sharon and for everybody, you know, the spooky season was getting too cold, you know, just kind of locking the place down. Nobody's really supposed to be investigating right now except for me, because she gave me special permission. But maybe the ghosts kind of were like, okay, time's up, you know, let's rest. Let's go somewhere else. Who knows how it works? That would be awesome if it did work like that, if I was just like right on the money. And if you made it all the way to this point, I know you're a real paranormal fan, because it's just how it goes sometimes, you know. If every single video was like the Bell Witch Cave, like, it's unbelievable. It's likely not true. I mean, I used to get a lot more back when I first started, but I also knew a lot less, and I was more arrogant, and maybe that's why more paranormal stuff happened, or maybe it all wasn't paranormal that I was getting and I just thought it was. I always did my best to try to debunk and, you know, this and that, but now I'm just like so much more knowledgeable, and maybe that hurts the connection there. You know, maybe there's a disconnect like that. But regardless, this is the McPike Mansion. Lovely place. Definitely check it out sometime. It's, you know, Sharon's awesome. Thank you to Sharon, if you're watching this, for letting me come investigate it, even though you didn't have to. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you go get yourself some of this awesome Dawson Toller merch. Make sure you go to my Patreon. You can join for free. There is free stuff on there, or you could support me by doing the $5 a month, but I understand not everybody can do that. Make sure you do a couple things for me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Watch the videos all the way to the end. All those things are absolutely free, and I really thank you for it. Catch you guys on the next one.
Check it, my name is Dawson Toller.